A national championship, a transfer portal starting quarterback. Santa Vols is going to grant you one wish this Christmas for Tennessee Athletics. What's it going to be?
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Merry Christmas Eve, everybody, and welcome into it, your Wednesday morning Locked On Vols. Appreciate you guys for being here and spend some time with us here on the show. It's a holiday week, so I know there's a lot going on. Hopefully you are spending time with your friends, your family, your kids, nieces, nephews, uncles, grandmas, whatever the case is. Hopefully this week is time spent cherished in those moments with them. But in the meantime, on the way to grandmother's house, or when you've had enough family time, you want to get away for 30 minutes or whatever, I appreciate you guys tuning in and checking us out here on Locked On Vols. Today's episode is presented by our friends over at FanDuel Sportsbook. And if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Big thanks to our friends over at FanDuel. I am Eric Cain, a member of the VolQuest.com team here in town, covering your Tennessee Volunteers each and every single day. It's been a fun week. Today's show is going to be no different. A specialty show, Santa Vol. Yes, Santa Vol, the guy you see at Neyland Stadium, you've seen on social media, the nice, jolly, bearded, orange Santa coat, orange hat guy. He's going to join the show in segment number 2. A really interesting story, why he does it, and how you can get involved in some of the stuff that he's doing. That's coming up in segment number 2. But some questions about what's on your wish list this Christmas for Sports Santa, for Santa Vol. For Sports Santa, for just sports in general, for Santa Vol, for your wishes to be granted in terms of Tennessee Athletics. That's coming up here on today's show. More Festivus coming up in segment number 3 because I got some late submissions that I do want to try to squeeze in the show. Josh Ward's going to chime in for both Sports Santa and for Festivus, so all that and more. It's got a little Ward Wednesday flair here on the show as well. So, number one wish for Tennessee Athletics this year. If Sports Santa would grant your favorite team a wish this Christmas in 2026. If you're watching this show, chances are your favorite sports team is the Tennessee Volunteers. What is that wish going to be? I mean, anybody can say national championship, and that's fair. Okay, Tennessee baseball won a natty a couple years ago. Tennessee football was one of 12 teams in the college football playoff in 2024. Lady Vols made the Sweet 16. Men's basketball made back-to-back Elite Eights. We could go on and on and on. To take that next step to get to a Final Four and see what happens for men's hoops. For Lady Vols to take that next step and get back into the Elite Eight, the Final Four conversation. For baseball to maintain pace following Tony Vitello's departure, or to get football back on track in 2026 with Josh Heupel, Jim Knowles, and of course Joey Halsley. National championship is fine. We'll go into the weeds here, get a little specific, all right? For baseball, and I just said it a moment ago, my wish for baseball would be to keep pace. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm not going to say national championship. I'm not going to be greedy and say number 1 offense in the country, top 5, pitching staff in the country, to have a Golden Spikes semifinalist. I'm not going to be greedy. I think Tennessee's got a good roster. I think Tennessee's going to be a very good baseball team this year. So my wish from Santa Vol regarding Tennessee baseball is that the program under Josh Heupel, the program under Josh Elander in year number 1 continues pace following the departure of Tony Vitello to the San Francisco Giants in the wild and wacky fall that was anything but routine. Coaching staff has an overhaul. A lot of good people that have been a part of the success still in place, but it is a new era of Tennessee baseball. My wish from Santa Vol for Tennessee baseball would be to keep pace this year, meaning contending for an SEC championship, meaning hosting a regional, supers, trying to get back to Omaha. That's my wish for Tennessee baseball. For Tennessee football, maybe your wish is to go out and get an affordable starting quarterback, because I think that'd be my wish. I mean, Tennessee's got pressing needs all over the map in terms of transfer portal needs. We've been talking about it ad nauseum. We'll talk about it with Boogie Bentley on tomorrow's show. Certainly we'll have a Christmas Day edition of the show as well with Boogie Bentley. Everybody's talking about the quarterback. There's needs at safety, at defensive line for sure. Running back now is kind of an important aspect in that. Linebacker maybe, but if you can find an affordable starting quarterback, I think that's number 1 on my wish list for transfer portal season for Tennessee. Now, $5 million, it's not worth it. $4 million, it's not worth it in my opinion. Can you find a guy that's got experience that you believe fits your system and would be the no doubts best option for your team via the transfer portal? My cutoff's like 3.2. I said that on the VolQuest podcast the other day. We'll see. Again, Swordsby's commanding more than that, reportedly. Sam Levitt's commanding more than that, reportedly. Maybe you swing and miss there. Can you find someone that can come in and has experience and can be your starter at an affordable price where you're not having to just be ridiculous and irresponsible with money? Affordable starting quarterback in the transfer portal would be a wish of mine for Tennessee football. Better safety play, of course, I think is everybody's wish for Tennessee football. I don't think that the recruiting of the safety position has been as good as it should be. Jim Knowles, defensive coordinator coming in, he kind of runs his defense through his safety. So will we see a shift in there? How quickly will we see that shift in there? Tennessee's going to have to get a couple of safeties, in my opinion, from the transfer portal. So I think that, of course, is on a wish list for Sandoval. Overall, portal haul. We're talking about how many guys could Tennessee get from the transfer portal. A lot of numbers out there, like 20. I think that'd be too much. I'm saying around 10. But again, I think Tennessee needs help in the secondary for sure, defensive line for sure. That's where the bulk of the portal haul should come. DBs, D-line. D-line, both interior and a pass rusher, in my opinion. And secondary, couple safeties. Would love to get a cornerback depth piece. And I don't think the star player is on the roster right now for next year. You could take a linebacker, maybe. You could take a running back. I think Tennessee will need to take a running back now because you didn't sign one. Peyton Lewis has announced his intentions of going to the transfer portal, and Star Thomas is leaving. So I think you need a running back anyway. But you're not breaking the bank for a linebacker or a running back, in my opinion. It's not a need. It would be a luxury, I guess. And then, of course, the quarterback conversation. So portal haul overall between 10 to 15 guys, I think, is kind of where I would like to see Tennessee go and attack the transfer portal. And again, that seems like a lot, and it is, but the bulk of your roster is still built on traditional recruiting or multi-year guys that you already got from the transfer portal. So instead of getting, 15 to 20 guys every year like, Lane Kiffin did at Ole Miss, and we'll see what he does at LSU, 10 to 15 guys this year to address some needs, I think would be really, really important. Here's one that I think a lot of you guys will agree with. Josh Heupel, better clock management. Clock management, game management, I think is an area that Josh Heupel really struggles in. And sure, Joey Halsey's the offensive coordinator, and I think Joey Halsey, I don't know that, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't know the straight dynamic and who calls X amount of plays or percentage of plays or whatever, but it's clear in 2-minute drill, heading into the half or heading into the end-of-game situations, Josh Heupel is so focused on his offensive play calling or offensive personnel or what's going on in that drive, in that series, that I think it takes away from some roles that a head coach has got to be able to do in terms of clock management. Countless examples this year. We won't rehash them all. Does that mean he takes a little off his script in terms of offensive play calling or whatever's happening in that moment so that he can focus more on the clock? I don't know if that's ever going to happen for Josh Heupel. Should one of the guys in a polo, Tennessee's got 100 of them, just like every college football program does, one of the guys in a polo on the sideline be all over clock management? That's his only job, or up there in the booth and a radio, a direct line to Josh Heupel on the sideline saying, hey, call your timeout, call 2 plays here, go, or call this play here, get out of bounds, or somebody's got to be dedicated to that if it's not the head football coach. Please, that to me would be a great gift, a wish here on Christmas if that could be solidified. And then, looking at Tennessee basketball, and we'll end on this one. There's plenty more we could talk about. I would love some consistent play from Jalen Carrey and from JP Estrella. Man, Jalen Carrey's good. Boy, oh boy, I love that Tennessee got Jalen Carrey via Vanderbilt to the transfer portal. JP Estrella has always had an enormously high ceiling with potential. It's finding consistent play from those guys from one game to the next, from one practice to the next, taking what they do on the practice court to the game court, or putting in the work on the practice courts in order to reap the benefits consistently on the game court. I'm not saying those guys are bad players or anything, but it's a growing up process. It's a maturation process, and it's a process of learning to play for Rick Barnes. JP Estrella has been in this program for a couple of years, but he's been hurt. Jalen Carrey, of course, is coming over. He's a newbie via the transfer portal. Both these guys have had big-time moments in games this year already. I think they're a big part of what Tennessee's going to do this year. but I would love to see some consistency from those two big men for the University of Tennessee. Santa Vol, yes, that's Santa Vol, the guy you see at Neyland Stadium, the guy you see on social media. He is going to join the show here on Christmas Eve edition of Locked On Vols. You don't want to go anywhere. Really, really cool stuff is coming up next. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets on as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum shift, every highlight moment. Live betting is the best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or momentum flips after a turnover. Momentum can flip for the defense after a takeaway. FanDuel lets you jump into that moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust accordingly. Player props update as guys start to heat up in the moment. You can bet on the next touchdown score, drive results, touchdowns or totals, and everything more that keeps you locked in, dialed into every snap, every drive, every single possibility. Thinking about the Music City Bowl coming up on Tuesday. Tennessee, at the time of this recording, 2.5-point favorite over FanDuel Sportsbook. That total at 61.5. I like Tennessee. I think Tennessee's a better football team, and I like Tennessee in Nashville, in our state's capital. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if that line over at FanDuel Sportsbook adjusts leading into kickoff. But you can get on that action right now and during the game as well. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this football season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you, thanks to our friends over at FanDuel. Joined by a very special guest here on this Christmas Eve edition of Locked On Vols, Santa Vol is joining the show. Again, if you've been at Neyland Stadium, you might have seen him out and about around campus. He's been doing it for a couple of years, and thought it'd be really fitting as we're talking about what we want for Christmas in terms of Tennessee Volunteers fans to have Santa Vol join the show. First and foremost, thank you so much for joining the show. It's a busy time of the year for you. I recognize that, but thanks so much for being here.
Yes, sir, not a problem. Like I said, I have to explain to people, Claus is actually my cousin, so it's much busier for Claus, but, I just get to, kind of ride his coattails and watch all the UT games that I can, so it works out.
Again, you prefer orange over red, so that's kind of where you guys differ there.
Well, all good-hearted people.
Yeah, all good-hearted people. All right, well, tell me your story. Like, how did this come about? Because if anybody's gone to a game, they come across you in some way, shape, or form. They've seen pictures. They've seen it on social media. How did this come about? And you go into football games dressed as Santa Claus, but of course, clad in orange.
Right. Really, and actually this is the 10th year that I've done it. I just thought it would be fun to dress as an orange Santa Claus for like a late season game, like, usually the last game of the year. I thought, hey, I'll do that, Thanksgiving weekend, it'd be neat. And then that year we went to a bowl game in Florida, and I had my mom make like a shorts and a kind of a short sleeve jacket version, and I wore it down there. Then I made a Facebook and a Twitter, and things just kind of exploded from there. It's been wild. And none of it was planned. It was all organic. It was just like, hey, let's see what happens here. And it just kind of exploded.
So you just wanted to wear the suit to the last game of the year to see what happens. And then it's been a real hit with the kids, obviously.
Oh, yeah. The little kids love it. Special needs adults love it. And so far, I've met a lot of former players that really dig it. So it's pretty cool. But the first summer after those two games, I figured I would do it, maybe for like a big game or maybe for the last game of the season again. But I had like different people messaging me on Facebook and Twitter asking, hey, are you going to be at this game? Are you going to be at that game? And I'm like, I'll be there, but I'm probably not going to wear the suit. I mean, it's like, September, it'll be hot. And, then Chip McCallum, who was on the 1990 Sugar Bowl team, didn't know Chip. He messaged me on Facebook, and he's like, hey, man, my daughter really wants to meet you. And if you come to the Alabama game, if you're in your suit, I can take you like down in the Letterman's room before the game. You can meet like Coach Majors, some of the former players. I'm like, I guess I'm dressing up for the game. That's a pretty simple question there. Okay.
It's like, okay, I will wear the suits in that regard. Who all, you just mentioned a couple different players, Coach Majors. I mean, who all of you have been blessed to kind of cross paths with as being Santa Vol?
I've been fortunate. I've met pretty much everybody. I got a sneak attack picture with Peyton at the Orange Bowl a couple of years ago. Me and my daughter were down there, and he was on stage doing something. So I told her, I said, let's go over here behind the stage. We'll catch him when he comes off. And as he was coming off the stage, like, hey, can Santa get a picture real quick? And of course, he stopped, took a picture. But I've never met Peyton, but I got a picture with him. My daughter got a picture, so that was neat. Floyd Miley wrote a book based on Floyd Miley Can Fly from the big play at Notre Dame years ago. One year, maybe first or second year that I dressed up all the season, he gave away a different book each year. I helped him with a contest to give it away. Been blessed enough to get down, like in the Letterman's area before games 2 or 3 times. Just stuff that I never dreamed I would be able to go to, but it's been fun. Probably the best that I've had is, guess it was 3 years ago. Josh Dobbs messaged me, and he had bought presents for all of the kids at the East Tennessee Children's Hospital. He couldn't make it to the trip, but his mom and dad and I went and visited all the children and gave out presents and stuff. So just spent a whole afternoon there, and it was really, really neat.
That is so incredibly cool. Making a difference here in the community, obviously, and who doesn't love Santa Claus? And if you're a Tennessee fan, who doesn't love Vol Santa? It's funny you mentioned Peyton. Like you kind of sneak attack, got a picture with him coming off stage in Omaha. I was one of like 30 reporters. Like, hey Peyton, can I get a word? And he's like trying to. I'm like, but no, come on. So you and I kind of both done that, except yours was probably less creepy.
I don't know.
I don't know. So does it go beyond football? Have you gone to Thompson Bowling at the Food City Center? Have you gone to other venues across Tennessee's campus over the years?
I've made it to a couple of basketball games. I live about 4 hours away. I live like an hour west of Nashville, so it's hard to get up for basketball games.
Yeah.
When I can, I do. Haven't really made it to any of the baseball games. Just tickets are too hard to get, and it's a little warm to be dressed as Santa. Now, I do have people have seen early season games. I've got like a shorts, and then I've got like an Hawaiian shirt that's orange with Christmas themes on it. But I always have some form of the hat on. Now, this is like, the super fancy hat, but I also have like, one of the, Tennessee Santa Claus hats that I'll wear for some games. It's a little cooler, but usually the worst part as far as the heat goes is the hat.
How long have you been going to Tennessee games?
First game I saw, I was 13 years old, Tennessee and Vanderbilt in 1985. My dad took me and my mom, and the whole family went and beat Vanderbilt 30-0 to go to the Sugar Bowl when they beat Miami. So I've got a few years on a lot of people, but first game I saw, and I was hooked. I mean, it sounds funny to say now, but they beat Vanderbilt 30-0, tore down the goalpost because it was the SEC championship. You have to explain. They're like, they tore down the goalpost for Vanderbilt? I'm like, yeah, but let me explain. It wasn't for Vanderbilt necessarily. And then I was hooked from there. And then we've had season tickets since, I guess, 95. Whenever they closed in the north end zone, we got season tickets.
Gotcha. So you've been in it for a while.
Yeah.
So any big plans in terms of using this platform around the Christmas time? I know you said you've done a lot of different things with, the Children's Hospital and stuff. Anything coming up that anybody should know about, or follow your work on social media or X?
So not really. Unfortunately, since I don't have anything planned, everything just kind of, I take it as it comes. Just like, you shot me an invitation. Hey, would you come on my show? Sure, I will. I'm kind of open to anybody that wants to talk to me. I'm there. But I don't try to sell myself as much as maybe I should. But, I do, let everybody that does follow me, and I try to make sure everybody that does follow me understands that. And this started just on a goof the first year I did it, and now I've done it 10 years in a row now. Every year in August, from August 1st till kickoff day, I will give away a different Tennessee autographed card or item of some sort. And what I'll do, I will collect that throughout the year where I've learned where a lot of the former guys tailgate and stuff. And it's almost like now they will expect me to have something for them to sign so that I can give it away. So I collect autographs during the season, then leading into the game, kind of like the last month before kickoff, call it Christmas in August, whatever you want to word it. I'll give away a different item every day, and it's fun.
That is awesome. All right, so if you're watching us right now, if you're listening to us right now, go find Santa Vol. He is on X. You can follow him at @Santa_Vol, and then I would assume just search Santa Vol on Facebook. Is that right?
Yeah, Facebook, I'm not sure. I think I've got a link tree, if it still works, that connects you to everything from Twitter or from X. And then Santa_Vol on Instagram as well.
He does. I'm looking at the link tree right now that's connected to his Twitter, so we'll put that in the show notes as well. All right, Sandoval, it's your time of the year, right? I'm asking everybody here today on the show, what do you want Santa to gift you? What are you going to gift yourself this year as a Tennessee fan? I mean, anybody can say national championship, whatever, but what is something you specifically want to see what Tennessee was?
I just want I want consistency back. I want games where we play complementary. The offense plays well and the defense plays well. It seems like this year we would have a defense would keep us in the game. The offense wouldn't be able to get going. Offense have a great game. The defense couldn't stop anybody. I don't want a lot. Just, let's play a complete game. And, I'm looking forward for that. And yeah, I know people aren't happy about getting to go to Nashville again for the Music City Bowl, but hey, anytime the Vols are playing, I'm going to be there if I can. So I'll be front row of one of the end zones. Look for me at the game. I'll be in all my bells and whistles. So I'm looking forward to getting to another Music City Bowl. Maybe this year the refs will help us a little bit. And when we score a touchdown, they'll actually tell us we scored a touchdown. That'd be nice.
There's been some wacky endings in Nashville in the Music City Bowl, and it's not gone Tennessee's way, unfortunately. So hopefully Tennessee won't have to, go to the very end in this one, but we'll see what happens. Sandoval, thank you so much for joining us. Really a big fan of following you along on social media. I think it's really cool and learning more about your story. And all right. Have a great Christmas, all right?
All right, thank you. And real quick, get a plug in since it is really close to Christmas. Yeah. I do have Cameo, and I do work cheap. So if you need to get that last-minute Christmas present, I will get it delivered as quick as I can for you.
That is awesome. I'll put that link in the show description as well. So anytime you want to have a kid and, have Sandoval come and say Merry Christmas or whatever, hey, that link will be in the show notes. Santa, thanks so much, man.
All right, thanks, Eric. Have a good one.
There's nothing like college football season, the tailgates, packed stadiums, and being right there in the middle of it all. The energy, the bands, the moments you remember forever, but actually getting those tickets, that part used to be so frustrating with long queues, logins, and prices jumping at checkout, but that's why Game Time gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to unlock amazing college football tickets and experiences in just a few taps. I opened the Game Time app to look for the upcoming college football game, Tennessee in the Music City Bowl, right? And was surprised at how fast it was to find great seats. The app, incredibly easy to use. I went from browsing to buying tickets in just a few minutes. I love being able to see the view from my seat before buying, so I know exactly what I'm getting. And the zone deals, they stood out as well. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you save even more money. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, put in the redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's Locked On College for $20 off, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. That was a treat, wasn't it? Sandoval, you've seen his pictures, you've seen him on social media, you might have seen him at Neyland Stadium. Really, really cool stuff. I appreciate him taking the time to join us here on Locked On Vols. That was really, really cool. All right, some more wishes, Christmas wishes from not necessarily Sandoval this time, more along the lines of college football Santa or sports Santa in general, sports Santa. And this is a radio bit I used to do with Tyler Robbins back when I was a part of the radio station, and it's a whole lot of fun. And that's why I like to bring this and Festivus and do these types of shows on Locked On Vols. More Festivus coming up at the end of the show because, well, that's fun. And I got a couple more submissions. So college football wishes for me. One-time transfer portal rule or a collective bargaining agreement, which I think would enforce that because, well, not necessarily enforce that. A CBA would have these guys under contract. So, again, it would limit free agency essentially, or no CBA, just have a one-time transfer portal window, or it results back to the old rules to where you can graduate one-time free transfer and then reverts back to the old rules where you can transfer after you've graduated or if your coach leaves. So you got to limit the freedom of movement here. You got to limit free agency every single cycle. I'm glad they took away the spring cycle because now if they don't do it in this cycle, you're cooked. You're staying put where you are. CBA, I think, would help solidify, put these guys on contracts, and let's quit pretending this is not professional sports because it is what it is. It's not amateurism. It's professional sports right here. Give me a one-time transfer rule or give me a CBA to help limit and lock those guys in with legit contracts. 2 bye weeks. I love the bye weeks. I know fans don't necessarily love the bye weeks, but for me, a guy that covers Tennessee, yeah, poor me, right? Love covering the Vols, but I like to watch college football as well. Don't get to watch college football when I'm spending 10 hours in Neyland Stadium or on the road or whatever as much as I like to. So the bye weeks, I love the bye weeks. Give me 2 bye weeks. Of course, Tennessee college football had 2, or the SEC had 2 bye weeks the previous 2 years, not coming up in 2026. No bowl tie-ins. I've mentioned this several different times. Again, I don't know if this will ever happen, but it's college football playoff or bust, so you want to make the playoff. If you don't make the playoff, you're going to Orlando, Tampa. Those are the upper echelons. Or Jacksonville, Nashville, and there's potential for Charlotte or Memphis. It feels like Tennessee is in Nashville or Jacksonville a lot of the times. Tennessee's in Orlando, Jacksonville, like Tampa. I mean, let me go to New York. Let me go to the Pinstripe Bowl. Okay, let me go to the Holiday Bowl. Hell, Noah Taylor's not on this show. Let's go to the Pop-Tart Bowl. Let's get wacky. Like, eliminate bowl tie-ins. I think that would be great for college football, and it would allow the fan bases to go and see more and more venues and play different teams. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be a whole lot of fun. Josh Ward's going to chime in a couple of times. Here's his first thought on Award Wednesday / Sports Santa. Josh Ward, his wishes for Sports Santa. Here it is.
Hey, Eric. Merry Christmas to you and the Locked On Vols audience. I appreciate you having me back on for Award Wednesdays all year, and appreciate the audience and everybody that has continued to tune in to Locked On Vols. One wish for the upcoming year. I don't necessarily need to go with the Tennessee wish. I think the audience has been able to figure out everything that Tennessee needs, and we'll continue to talk about it over the next few days and weeks and really all offseason before the 2026 college football season starts up. This past year, we dealt with more streaming conversations. There was the YouTube TV fiasco in the middle of college football season. Everybody's trying to figure out, okay, what sport, what team, what game is on which platform. I recognize where we are. I'm a streamer. I have YouTube TV at my home. My wish for 2026, I would love for Sports Santa to come in and get it all figured out for us, make it easier for us to be able to watch what we need to, when we want to. To be clear, we are blessed. We are blessed to be able to watch pretty much anything, anytime, anywhere. If you go back 25, 30 years ago, and certainly before that, it was so difficult to watch most sporting events. Now they're all available. It's just about trying to figure out where they are. So I hope the platforms think about the audience a little bit more. If I could ask Sports Santa for one thing, I would say for easier viewing with all the wonderful options we have in 2026.
It's a really good point there from Josh Ward. Love the fact that we can watch sports year-round. I mean, games we would never, and really in the last couple of years with streaming, it's become just so readily available. But the fact of the matter is, you got to get this. I mean, the NFL, like someone did a study going into the season, like saying it would cost somebody this amount of money to see every single NFL team play, or your team play a 17 game schedule, because you've got NFL Network, you've got Prime, you've got Netflix, you've got YouTube TV. I mean, it's all over the place, right? So that is kind of frustrating, and so I the easier streaming availability in terms of access, I agree with Josh for sure. Let's shift gears to Festivus. Great show. Love Sandoval coming on and doing that. Thank you guys for participating. Let's end this show with a couple of Festivus here on this this Christmas Eve. Festivus was yesterday, where we air our grievances. If you didn't see the episode, I encourage you to go back and watch that one. That was a fun one. A couple of late submissions here, Vol and Archie. The NCAA, the amount of poor planning this organization has needs to be studied. They are ruining college sports. Number 2, season ticket holders that resell tickets at insane prices to make money. I know prices are high when you are winning, but the common fan has been priced out. Basketball, why are we still doing halves? That's a good one and a popular one, right? A lot of people want to go to the quarter system like the NBA. Titans, buddy. What happened? January of 2020, they were in the AFC Championship game, and now they are running for the second number 1 overall pick in the draft. Wow, that is enough for now. Yeah, as a Tennessee Titans fan, I feel you. Ownership. Poor GM hires, getting rid of great coaches, Mike Vrabel. Oh, okay, that's a conversation for another day. Another one from my guy, Vol and Archie. Since 2019, the SEC Offensive Player of the Year went to New York City for the Heisman ceremony, except for the 2 years it was Hendon Hooker and Dylan Sampson. It's a good point. Look at Jeremiah Love stats this year. Dylan Sampson's blew that out of the water from a year ago. I would like for Santa just to bring success to, okay, this is Sports Santa. I would like Santa just to bring success to Tennessee. A natty would be the ultimate gift, but being in the conversation and competitive enough to compete for one is a great start. Man, I appreciate the contributions here to the show. Vol and Arky, you're a day one. You're an everydayer, and I couldn't thank you enough for sending those in and listening to the show, man. You're awesome. My buddy Osborne has a couple. The sound system inside Neyland Stadium is awful. The current font, he's got a couple uniform ones. The current font used by the university and Nike needs to go away with the Adidas switch. The Nike contract mandating a new iteration of the smoky gray needs to stop with Adidas. We've talked about that before on here. The OG smoky grays are the best and should be untouched like the dark modes. Basketball's dark modes needs the script Vols across the chest like the cream jerseys instead of the Vols font. I agree with that. I think that'd be a really, really good look. That was some Festivus there from Osborne, and we will end with a Festivus from the man that inspired me to do this show, because Josh Ward does a Festivus episode every year on his radio show. Here's some more Festivus on Award Wednesday from Josh Ward.
Hey, Eric, happy Festivus. I have a lot of grievances I could share with the audience here today. I'm going to stick to two. One is an annual one until we get it fixed. We've got to figure out the merging thing. It's an issue on the road. There are more people, especially in Knoxville and East Tennessee. On the interstate, we've got to learn the merge. I could keep going, but I've said it every year. I'm afraid in 2026 for Festivus, I'll be making the same grievance. Let's fix the merging on the road. In the sports world, my grievance comes to the replay system of American sports. We've got to do better, especially in college football and college basketball. I think it's an issue in the NBA and in the NFL, but the conversation here is more often about college football and college basketball. And it feels like every 5 minutes there's a stoppage. The replay takes way too long, and it makes for a brutal experience, whether you're watching on TV or in person. In person is probably worse because you don't have any other distractions. At least on television, you can find something else to do with your time. But at the end of games or at any point, we can get a stoppage for a review. Sometimes we're asking, why is this being reviewed? Other times we're asking, what is taking so long with this review? Tennis has figured it out. Tennis goes to replay. They have an answer in 20 seconds. They're back to action. College sports with the replay system. I love getting it right. Get it right more efficiently.
Yes, please. Get it right more efficiently. I mean, I'm sitting there in the press box so many times and we're going on minutes and minutes. Baseball reviews are ridiculous. Like, if you don't know in the first minutes, whatever was called on the field of play, let it ride, right? Just let it ride. Josh, I appreciate you as always. And again, appreciate you participating in Sports Santa and Festivus. Guys, thank you so much for being here, being a part of the show. Big thanks to Vol Santa for joining the show. This has been fun. Boogie Bentley is going to stop by tomorrow for a little Christmas morning Locked On Vols. We'll have a crossover with Locked On Illini coming up on Friday's show. Merry Christmas. Enjoy your time with your family and friends, and we will be back at it right here, getting you set for the Music City Bowl and so much more on Locked On Vols. Thankful for you guys. Have a very Merry Christmas.